Let's call this meeting to order. Roll, please. Here.
Here. Howard.
Here.
Redland.
Present.
Thompson.
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Have anybody signed up for public comment? No? Okay, let's move on to consent agenda. We have A, the 9/3/24 Commission meeting minutes, and B, the appropriation ordinances 2024-18, 2024-18A, and 2024-P18. Any questions, comments, or concerns on those?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda items A and B.
I made motion by Commissioner Redland,
Second.
second by Commissioner Howard. Any further discussion? Roll, please.
Howard.
Yes.
Redland.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Showalter.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Okay. Moving on, we have a small presentation or maybe an introduction for us this evening. Lisa, if you guys want to head up to the podium there and introduce.
So I just have a quick update. Just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys. So I haven't been here in a minute because I've been trying to get this person hired. And so that's been my job this summer and so excited to introduce him. But before I do that, wanted to let you guys know that we did open up an application for a Building Brilliance incentive for businesses. So it's to help with the facade, signage, things like that. It opened on September 1st and the application will close September 30th. Then we have a committee that we've put together, a representative from county, city, foundation, out of the city limits, and then from our board as well. And it's either someone from planning commission or someone that was appointed by the city or someone from the county on those pieces there. They'll review those applications in October, and then we'll make the announcements for that grant in November 1st. It's a Friday. And it's a grant up to $5,000 for the business with the 25% match. So
Very nice.
we got a grant with that with Network Kansas. They gave $10,000 for a grant, and then we did a $20,000 match, so a total of $30,000 for this year. So we're excited to have that. And it can be found on our website. We are pushing out on our Facebook page as well, or they can call the office and we can get them that information. So just wanted to update you on that. Let's see here. We're moving forward with Flatlanders. That's next week, and I can't believe it's already here. So at this time, we have 60 vendors, so that's double what we had last year. So trying to find a place to have them. That does not include the car and bike show part of it. So that's really cool to see that's happening, and we're getting traction there. When it comes to some of the bigger projects we've talked about in the past, everything's looking good moving forward, just kind of paperwork, sending it to the people for approval and moving forward in that. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks or months, we'll have some more updates on the tire plant and the meatpacking plant. So, and I know Schooler has their ribbon cutting this Wednesday, so that'll be exciting for them. All right. That's all I have. So I just want to take a moment and invite Bert Mosier to come on up. Bert is from Northwest Kansas originally, and we're glad to have him back. And he's going to be fulfilling the role of the Economic Development Director. So I'll let him say a few words.
Yeah, I'm not going to take much of your time. I'll want more later. I'm originally from Hoxie, Kansas. I was the Economic Development Director there, also in Osage County, Kansas, and then moved to California. Was there 21 years and came back for the summer. And here I am now. I have a job. But we're going to try and get out and see every business in Sherman County and in Goodland and just introduce ourselves and say, what can we do for you? Can we do anything for you? Is there a problem? Is everything okay? We want to be seen and heard, and we want to hear from them. And when I hear from them, you'll hear from me. So it's nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, welcome. Thank you. Okay, moving on to ordinances and resolutions. We have Resolution 1643 regarding the transfer of title and ownership of the city fire vehicles. Kent?
The resolution was revised from last time. The commission had said wanted some additional information regarding the what the original agreement had provided about it, and City Attorney Kling had advised that the original agreement stated how the real property would be returned in that agreement. But we did include in the revised resolution an additional whereas statement that basically includes the section 16 paragraph from the original agreement, which includes that language about how the property should be returned, what's the value, and how that's split up between the county and the city. So, Fire Chief James has an inventory that identifies all the vehicles as well as all the other equipment for the fire department, but had that identified as well. I didn't have that value attached at the initial, or he had it attached at the initiation of the original agreement. I didn't include it here because I didn't get the copy from Fire Chief James at the time that I sent the packet to you. We also removed the oldest truck, the 1950 Seagraves truck, from the list of vehicles. Wanted to keep that per Commissioner Showalter's request. And there seemed to be a consensus of that commission to have that as well. So, but otherwise, the resolution is as is. Presented for your consideration.
Okay, I mean, I feel like this kind of cleared up any concerns and questions that had last go around. Have we contacted the county at all to make sure that they're on board for adding these things to their insurance?
Yeah.
And they're all for it?
Ashley and Brian and I talked about it. And they both know that we were doing this resolution.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Concerns?
Well, I make a motion to approve Resolution 1643, transferring these said vehicles to county ownership.
I have a motion by Commissioner Showalter.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Myers. Any further discussion? Roll please.
Redland,
Yes.
Showalter,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Okay, moving on to formal actions, we have a request for an additional abatement at 1526 Caldwell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I should have asked this the last commission meeting. For the pest control side of things, because there was so many mice in this property, I was just requesting permission now to get that taken care of so that when we award the bid at the following meeting, they can go ahead and move forward with their end of the deal, and the pest control's already taken care of.
Any concerns with that?
No.
Nope.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We need a motion.
Yes.
I would make a motion to approve the additional abatement of 1526 Caldwell
For pest control
for
services.
pest control services, sorry.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Showalter,
Second.
second by Commissioner Redland. Any further discussion? Roll, please.
Myers,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Redland,
Yes.
Showalter,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Okay, discussion items. First up is the proposed ordinance 1783 for low income rates for utilities. Kent?
In your packet, I included the information, although I must have attached the wrong ordinance. That's why I was just having a little consternation.
Yeah.
But the basic purpose of the ordinance, what was suggested, or then the recommendation, is basically changing the amount to qualify for the low-income household rate to match the federal poverty guidelines as stated by Health and Human Services. That's published on an annual basis, and I think I just didn't change the number at the top, is the problem. But you basically changed it from 18,000 to 20,440. That is the rate for 2024. The poverty guidelines are published in January. And that's basically for a two-person household. It seems awful small, obviously, or low. But that is what the poverty guidelines, as stated by HHS, are. And it does increase the limitation within our city code up to, obviously, $2,440. But it doesn't have any variation for number of people in the household. If the commission would like that, I did include in the communication form the amounts that are stated in there. Although they basically add over $5,000 per person to the poverty guideline. But basically sets that limitation both within the low income electric utility rate and the low income water utility rate. Although they have two different the electric rate becomes a lower rate and the water utility is just a percentage less.
Yeah, and that electric rate is roughly about 50% off of what it currently is.
15.
Yeah,
15.
15. I think it was 0.127, I think is what the current energy rate.
So the correct ordinance number is 1783.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I've said this every meeting so far, and I will say it again because that's how I feel. And I feel like that it should be based on persons in the household, not just a set number based on what two people would be. But I know not everybody necessarily agrees that way. Thinks it's a lot cleaner to just do it $1 amount. You guys' thoughts?
Still learning how would we do it if we were to do it the way you're speaking, as far as another.
I mean, we just have to add the language of it being based on number of persons in the household, and then it would be based off of, that. It would still be based off of the same poverty rate guidelines that are federal, because federal lists for all the people in the household. So it would just be whichever dollar amount that is for the amount of people in the household, instead of just everybody is based off of what a two-person household dollar amount is. It's like if there was 4 people living in the house, 2 parents and 2 kids, it would be household income of $31,200 instead of the $20,440, for example.
After we had our discussion last time, I had spent some time thinking about it, and I know initially when I had, kind of voiced what my opinion was, I was more in the direction of just setting the limit where it was easier for us to kind of track. But I mean, if we're going to be serious about making sure that people who are low income get as much help as we can possibly offer them, then I think we do need to explore the option of being able to add in there allowances for more people in the home to have higher deduction. So I think what you're saying makes sense, Aaron.
I don't have a problem with it. It works. I mean, it's an additional $53.80 per person, so per income. If two people are working, they're probably making way more than that anyway. Should be.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue was making sure that it wasn't going to be overwhelming for staff. Like this sort of, however we chose to do that, but it seems like we're just going to be using tax return. Kind of was like the main thing we were going to be focusing on.
It's the tax return. The hardest part of it is just guarantee that those people are actually in the residence.
Right.
If they're claiming them and they're college students or somewhere else, that becomes a little difficult. But don't really know how prevalent that would be, because we have a few applications.
Yeah.
The other hard part about this is that we don't want to impact. We want to help people with low income, but we don't want it to impact our utility funds to the extent that we have to do something with the regular rate. So, which we're going to have to do in any event, but wouldn't want to have to do it too much. But a 15% reduction is not a huge amount. And if it becomes too much, we as staff will bring something back to you to say, this is affecting us.
Yeah.
But understand once it's instituted, it might be harder to change it.
So I guess approximately how many utility properties do we have? Different properties that have utilities.
We have a little over 2,600 customers total. And we have, 400 commercial customers? About 2,200.
2,200 residential. And there's currently, 12, 15 people who use the current program.
It's 10, 12, 15. Yeah.
So pretty minuscule. I mean, if we do this, make changes to make it, people can get in with a little higher income than what it currently is, there may be an uptick in that. And I suppose if maybe we see all of a sudden 100 people applying, then maybe we need to relook at it. But I don't imagine that'll be the case. But
yeah,
who knows? But
who knows? Would have to revise the ordinance. The ordinance was just for discussion at this time. We'll have to bring back a finalized version of the ordinance for you. Especially if we're doing the not just the one rate, but per the number of variable rate numbers in the household.
And that's what we were talking about. Basing off the persons in the household. So now after we've been talking.
yeah. Okay, so I feel like consensus at the moment anyhow seems to be to maybe redo it depending on the persons in the household.
Yeah, we will bring that back.
Okay, between now and then, if anybody has different thoughts again, we can always rediscuss it next time. Okay, let's move on to B, a lot commitment for the NWKTC construction program.
This is an MOU with the wrong title, but,
FHTNW, is that what we're calling it? FHTNW?
HNW.
the, there's a memorandum of understanding with Fort Hayes Tech Northwest for the donation of a property to build a passive home at 326 Sherman Street. The construction department at Fort Hayes Tech Northwest, their staff and their students will be involved in the home construction if grant funding is obtained from the Patterson Family Foundation and from a couple other sources to do that. So this memorandum of understanding, and just really asking for commission direction on it. I've sent it to Ben Shears with Fort Hayes Tech, but haven't heard anything back as yet. It was pretty quick to put it together. But it basically holds the property, wouldn't transfer the property until the actual construction would be, or the grants would be received and they'd actually be authorized to move ahead with the project. This is the property at 326 Sherman that was donated to the city by the owner, and we ended up having to demolish the house on the building. So, except for the demolition costs, it didn't really cost the city anything for the lot at that location. Plus, the utilities were already there at that location. So, it seemed like it was an appropriate lot for this type of program, as discussed when Ben was here last time. Did you have any questions, concerns, or comments regarding the particular MOU?
I was trying to remember, and I should have went back and listened, but is the hope for this to be done this school year? Do you know?
I believe the timeline is to start the foundation after January 1st and then have it done in the spring, so one per school year.
I was just wondering the period of 2 years. I just didn't know if we wanted to hold it for 2 years if the college doesn't not getting the grants and decide not to move forward with the property. Or I would assume they would probably come and let us know if something happened and they didn't need the property anymore.
I didn't know the grant timelines, and I don't know if Ben knew or Brenna knew, filling out the grant application, if there'd be any delay in the receipt of the funds, so that would end up with the following school year. Is the only
I believe the timeline is January, and I believe it's also the college's intent to move forward no matter whether they receive the grant or not. So,
right, they have
plan on
other
project
resources.
moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, that's kind of my only question is if we wanted to hold it for 2 years. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it sounds like it's going to be moving pretty quickly. And if for some reason it falls through when they don't need the property, I would assume they would let us know and we can release this and try to move on to something else. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to have something put on that lot and for the college to be able to get their students out there and build something.
Be a great experience for all the students and then for the people in the community to see that the Votech's back to building houses.
Agreed.
Jake, I didn't have a chance to talk to you before the meeting. Did you have any questions or concerns regarding this MOU?
Really like to put in contact with virtually. Without pressure into intention of the college, but things happen and put up these commercial not just sell it itself. And we don't think more, we agreed to hold on to this, and here we are years later. So
Once I hear from Ben or somebody else at the college that this MOU is okay, then we'll bring it back at the next meeting for formal approval. Would you rather have 1 year on it, or would you rather have 2 years?
No, I mean, I think 2 years is fine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Item C is the utility incentives for businesses discussion. Kent?
I really don't have any new information regarding these utility incentives. Staff had presented you with some information at the last meeting and was just waiting for commission direction if there's something you want to pursue, or if you don't want to pursue it at this time, want to look at other examples, we can certainly do that.
I feel like this one's been a little tougher as far as discussion goes than the low income rates. A lot of different ideas of what's appropriate or what's not appropriate. I kind of have a couple different things on the recommendations on here. Was one for on like new installations, that the labor and equipment costs are on the city and the customer pays for the materials. I feel like that's something kind of been doing anyway, but I think maybe having that fit in an actual policy would be good for anybody coming forward. I don't know if that would be easier to agree on that part anyhow. As far as utility rates, I still kind of the same spot that I've been in. I still think like a 6 months, 10 to 15% off or whatever to help try to get business going. So there's been some contention on that one, and if we can't come to an agreement on that, I suppose that's okay. You know, if something absolutely need to work on a case by case basis, then that's okay too. Your guys' thoughts?
I would feel comfortable with some kind of standard policy for new installations on labor and equipment, but also I would like, I would be in favor of something written that would give us some flexibility on a case by case basis. If we had a large employer that wanted to come in, I think it's important that we make sure that new businesses that come in know that Goodland is open for business and we're ready to try to do what we can to help facilitate economic growth. So I think we need something, some basic policy that says that we're going to treat everybody the same if they come in here and ask for something, but also have some flexibility if we have an employer that comes in and wants to build something that's going to bring in 150 jobs, and maybe just not giving them free, a free loader for the day is going to be enough to entice them to come. So yes, I want something stringent, but I want a little bit of wiggle room in there too.
Oh, I confirm.
Yes.
But also soft. Other thoughts?
Well, I really haven't had a chance to talk in depth with Brett, with Bert Motion about anything regarding incentives. So it would be good to have some communication with them.
I don't know, maybe it's a discussion that we can table for right now, and maybe as Bert feels more comfortable in his position, that maybe you could give some recommendations on things that you've seen in other communities, or things that you think that are, directions that, we need to explore. I just think we're in a really unique time economically in Goodland, that we have the opportunity right now to be a part of some really historic growth here, and I want to make sure that we're on top of it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good that we're having this discussion.
I also believe we should table it for right now until Bert gets his feet wet.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we want to we'll just hold off on further discussions until a point in time, and maybe Kent and Bert can get together and get some more ideas. Maybe a couple months, first of the year, whatever it may take. Just want to make sure it doesn't fall off and they don't come back to it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Reports, starting with our city manager, Kent.
Included in the package is the manager memo as well as the August month-end fund balance report and the police monthly activity report. The industrial park project is moving forward. They completed about half of the north line of the sewer main that's gone in. They've completed about 500 feet of street on the south side. They are working furiously to be able to pour by the end of the week some additional street, or at least the curbs for the street. And then they'll get going with the rest of the street. So it's moving along well at this point. So the Caldwell cost share project is set to begin Wednesday. So Wednesday morning. So the street department went ahead and posted notices to all the residents along Caldwell, as well as the cars that were parked on Caldwell, to let them know that there'll be no parking there once the project starts. Because they will do, it's basically doing the 2 driving lanes for Caldwell from 10th Street to 17th Street. And then at the intersection, they will do the full intersection. And it's just a mill and overlay. So it will basically take, they said, just 4 days. Now, according to the contract, they need to be done before Flatlander starts a week from Friday. So they have a little wiggle room. Not much.
Get done, get out.
But it will move. It's a small project, so they'll move pretty quickly on it. We're having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow just to clear up anything regarding construction, but they said it would be 4 days. So 4 or 5 days if we would get a storm. So I don't expect any difficulties. Any questions or concerns from y'all regarding that?
Nope.
After further discussion with Chief Earhart regarding the golf cart ordinance, the one thing that the commission had given as direction was if there would be a golf cart ordinance, it would be added to the utility vehicles, micro utility trucks part of the city code. There's probably going to be a couple difficulties, according, and I'll let Chief Earhart speak to that just briefly here.
Hello.
Good evening.
So, I was able to find some golf carts with seat belts that have the actual shoulder belts. I told Ken earlier that I wasn't able to find them. So the golf carts that have the back seats on them, where they ride on the back, those do not have shoulder straps. I think that's probably a bad idea anyway, to have people on the back facing the other way. And after I've thought about it and done some research on it as well, I know that we have motorcycles and mopeds and things like that, but these golf carts top out at 25 miles an hour. Most of the older ones only go 10 to 15 miles an hour. I feel like that's a big safety issue going down Caldwell, Cherry, Arcade, where there's a lot of traffic. Even if they're to the right of the roadway, motorcycles obviously can keep up with traffic. These are very slow moving. I have a safety concern with it now that I've done some research into it. The top high-end golf carts do come with, it appears they come with turn signals. Some of them, I'm not sure if they come with, I didn't see wipers on them, so they would have to do some modifications to them, just like the regular UTVs. But there are some, I think we would have to actually make another ordinance regarding the golf carts because of the back seats. I really don't, if approved, I think it's probably a big safety issue to have people sitting on the back facing traffic. That's, and on top of that, they don't have the shoulder straps, so that would not go along with the ordinance or with the STO. So there's a few things that I'm concerned about for sure. We're not, you know, Cheyenne County or Wallace County where there's limited traffic. Very, you know, it's very quiet. You know, 8th Street and Arcade. I don't know how many cars go down that road a day, but I bet it's a lot. So it's pretty busy. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just don't feel like it's safe.
Thank you.
And I think we would have to make another ordinance if you guys go ahead and guys and gals decide to go ahead and go forward with it. I don't think it's gonna. I just don't think I can make it fit because it's not the same.
The criteria just.
Yeah, the criteria is just not the same.
The same.
Similar, but not the same.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So that's where staff is at regarding that topic at this point. Still going through it.
Okay.
We did get asked, or we'll work with GAC, Goodland Activity Center. Apparently the baseball and softball clubs have bought scoreboards for the fourplex and the baseball field out there. And as far as this, Tess came over and asked if the city would install the scoreboards. Did ask couple department heads, Dustin and Kenton, and I don't think I was able to talk to Danny about it, but it's those guys with the lifts that will have to work it anyway. I guess the city installed the last set of scoreboards out of the ballpark. So one of the scoreboards would require one extra post. It's a little bigger than the current one, but other than that, we'll work it out to make that happen with the GAC. So, one thing I didn't have on here, the league conference is next month, second week of October. It's from October 10th through the 12th. If you have any interest in attending, please let us know and we can get you signed up. So, I will be there October 10th and 11th. I'm not able to be there on the 12th, but if you have any interest, let us know.
Okay.
And that's all I have at this point, except for the executive session.
Do we have any questions or comments for our city manager? Okay. I do have, I guess, one question for the commission, since it kind of came up here. Now that we've had a month to think about it, and before a lot of work goes into it, and everybody's still on board with moving forward with discussions regarding the golf cart ordinance. The consensus still there to look into that?
I'm in favor of continuing talks.
So, yeah, okay. We will continue on. Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to commissioner reports, starting down here on my left with Commissioner Redland.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Howard.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Myers.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Showalter.
Just want to thank the community and some of the commissioners that came out to celebrate the affiliation launch party on Tuesday. We served 600 people there, which was significantly more than some of the other communities. So we appreciate everybody coming out and helping us celebrate.
Very nice.
Great.
Good.
Okay, for my mayor's report, I have nothing more to add. So with that, I will make a motion to move into executive session under the authority of KSA 75-4319B6 for the preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property. I would like the commission and the city manager for a period of 15 minutes. Motion's on the floor. Second by Commissioner Showalter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you.
tired. It doesn't matter.
All right, call this meeting back to order. Anybody have any further discussion? No. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Redland,
Second.
second by Commissioner Showalter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.